What's going on, America? Let's talk about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in the 60 Minutes of Stupidity interview that she had with Anderson Cooper. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to try to be as nice as I can. I'm going to try to be as reasonable as I can. I want people to understand that I could care less that she's on the opposite side of the spectrum politically with me. My conflict with her is her incompetence. It's not that this is the first time or the first couple scenarios that she's saying something crazy that makes no sense and have no solutions for all the radical stuff that she's saying. This is like 1 in 50 times she's done this. And when you make statements like 3 branches of Congress, and then you correct yourself and say 3 branches of the government, the House, the Senate, and the presidency. I mean, it's not a coincidence that she's perpetually making statements and people are coming out against her. Of course, what does she have going for her? She's cute, even though she got big old teeth. It looked like she just finally got her adult teeth in. Even though she's cute, she's charismatic, she's radical. That is what gains her a popularity. But when you look at her competence as a politician, I can even say as an informed American, she's lacking tremendously. And I'm going to go through 3 segments of her 60-minute interview with Anderson Cooper and talk about why I think she's extremely incompetent and why I have a huge problem with what she said and what she stands for. And let me give a caveat. Everybody that know anything about media, you've ever done interviews, Anderson Cooper and 60 Minutes and liberals is a conducive relationship for softball throws. Anderson Cooper is not going to realistically challenge her not one time. I guarantee you all the questions that he asked her, she already pre-knew. She prepared for. I know how it rolls. I've been on TV before. And the Republicans will do the same thing. They're going to throw softballs to the president, more than likely. So understand the context before we watch these videos. But this first video is her giving her ridiculous statements about fossil fuel emissions and about taxes over the next 12 years. Listen to what she has to say.
You're talking about 0 carbon emissions, no use of fossil fuels within 12 years?
That is the goal. It's ambitious. And
how is that possible? Are you talking about everybody having to drive an electric car?
It's going to require a lot of rapid change that we don't even conceive as possible.
No, you don't get to just say that. You don't get to just throw out stupidity. You don't get to just say, well, yeah, it's ambitious. It's something that we don't even think is possible. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's just going to happen because I feel like it's going to happen. No. How are you going to get people to completely drive electric cars by in 12 years? Give us a philosophical explanation. Articulate your hypothesis to some degree. Okay, let's keep going.
Right now. What is the problem with trying to push our technological capacities to the furthest extent possible?
This would require the raising taxes.
There's an element where, yeah, people are going to have to start paying their fair share in taxes.
Do you have a specific on the tax rate?
You know, you look at our tax rates back in the 60s, and when you have a progressive tax rate system, your tax rate, you know, let's say from 0 to $75,000 may be 10% or 15%, etc. But once you get to like the tippy tops, on your $10 millionth dollar, sometimes you see tax rates as high as 60 or 70%. That doesn't mean all $10 million are taxed at an extremely high rate, but it means that as you climb up this ladder, you should be contributing more.
What?
Oh, man, this is bad. This is bad. You know, you're talking about she gives no explanation to how we're going to somehow accomplish in 12 years 0 fossil fuel emissions. She has no explanation at exactly what implementation of taxes she's going to use. She throws out a number like 60 or 70% taxes on your $10 millionth dollar. Exactly how are you going to implement this? Now, don't worry about that. That's too much detail for her brainstem to connect with. But it is a clear sign of big government stealing your money. If I need to translate this for you, it's like, give the government your money. They need to pay a fair share. Now, there's nothing fair about somebody paying 10% in taxes and somebody paying 70% in taxes. And the thing is that if you pay 10% on a smaller amount of money, you're only contributing an extremely small amount of money. If you pay 70% on a tremendously higher number of revenue, then you're contributing exponentially more taxes. Listen, the 1% of America is paying 80% of the taxes in this country. And you telling me that the 0.1% should pay all the taxes to accomplish your goals, to your dreams of electric cars for everybody? That's not American. Let's keep going.
What you are talking about, just big picture, is a radical agenda compared to the way politics is done right now.
Well, I think that it only has ever been radicals that have changed this country. Abraham Lincoln made the radical decision to sign the Emancipation Proclamation. Franklin Delano Roosevelt made the radical decision to embark on establishing programs like Social Security. That is radical.
Do you call yourself a radical?
Yeah, you know, if that's what radical means, call me a radical.
Now, think about this for a minute. There's a difference between rational and radical. Like, what she explained was people making rational decisions, legitimate rational decisions. She's trying to promote decisions that make zero sense. And she has no plan at how she's going to administer it and what the outcome is going to be. Zero. So let's go to another clip that she said regarding Donald Trump and racism.
You don't talk about President Trump very much.
No.
Why?
No. Because I think he's a symptom of a problem.
What do you mean?
The president certainly didn't invent racism, but he's certainly given a voice to it and expanded it.
Well, hold on. What does it mean to give a voice to racism? What does that mean? What does that represent? As if people are sitting around waiting for Donald Trump to say, hey guys, you can be a racist. I know that you hate black people or you hate white. I mean, people don't even consider black people hating white people racist. That's a whole other video. But you hate black people, but you're not going to say nothing until the president becomes until Trump becomes the president of the United States. And now you can openly say the N-word and do whatever you want to do. Now, what makes you think that Trump has even given people that permission when he has condemned racism? Let's keep watching.
And created a platform for those things.
Do you believe President Trump is a racist?
Yeah, no question.
How can you say that?
When you look at the words that he uses, which are historic dog whistles.
What words? What words? What words are historical dog whistles? What does that even mean? You can't just make up stuff.
Of white supremacy. When you look at how he reacted to the Charlottesville incident where neo-Nazis murdered a woman versus how he manufactures crises like immigrants seeking legal refuge on our borders, it's night and day.
In response, the White House Deputy Press Secretary told us Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez's sheer ignorance on the matter can't cover the fact that President Trump supported and passed historic criminal justice reform and has repeatedly condemned racism and bigotry in all forms.
Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. First of all, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of hearing people talk about Charlottesville. For the last time, how is Charlottesville racist? White people beating up other white people. Where's the racism? And then the young lady that got killed, she was white, and she got killed by another white person. How all of a sudden they make the man racist when these people killing each other and it had nothing to do with Trump? The first time the incident came out, he condemned it. Subsequent days, he condemned it. And people are getting hung up on the fact he said there was problems on both sides, which was true. The freaking black police chief said the same thing in his interview. And y'all act like he didn't say that. I'm telling you right now, go look in the mirror. If you still think Trump is a racist because of Charlottesville, you're an idiot. I just want you to know that. Just share that. It's free 99. It's not going to cost you nothing. You're an idiot. Go do some research and learn something. Second of all, they talk about the border. His legal refuge. You're not seeking legal refuge. People who come here the right way, who come to the border through a point of entry, they're seeking asylum legally. That is legal refuge. That's not jumping over our wall, sneaking in our country, killing people. That's two different things. Lastly, you can see two things. She could give a F less about black people, and she's out of touch with reality. Executive order for historical black colleges gave $1 billion to historical black colleges. Prison reform, the first real federal prison reform in decades. Nobody has ever done this. Donald Trump endorsed it. Donald Trump signed it into law. The Urban Revitalization Act, to give $100 billion, could possibly get $100 billion worth of revenue investments to urban revitalized areas. Now, how is that racist? And then the man, every chance he gets, he condemns racism. They act like African American people don't work for him. I guess we don't count. They act like black people who voted for him don't count. I get Pastor Darrell Scott. I guess all the people that work in the White House, Ben Carson, Katrina Pearson, myself included, Candace Owens. I guess we don't count. I guess if we don't follow the mold that you think we should be in, we somehow don't count. All right, let's watch this last piece. Let's watch this last video.
There are a lot of people in the Democratic Party, members of Congress, who are concerned that you're going to try to push the party too far to the left.
Yeah, while I understand that concern, I think that I'm a much more reasonable person than people tend to make me out to be.
It does also seem, with the level of coverage that you've been getting and the tenor of the coverage from Fox and others, that they're certainly trying to make you be the standard bearer of the Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. And with the idea being the Democratic Party is radical and is far to the left, mm-hmm. and wants all these dangerous things. I mean, right. That seems to be one of the subtexts.
Well, I can see why Fox would consider a living wage to be a radical far left agenda when they are supporting the incarceration of children at our border.
Incarceration of children at the border. There's no such thing as incarcerating of children at the border. It's putting them in safe facilities because they're unaccompanied by adults. It's not incarceration. They're not convicted of a crime. We need to put them somewhere so they're not laying in the streets. And if you come here and seek asylum like you're supposed to, you don't get separated from your children. It's only when they catch you over here after you then snuck into our country and now you have to go to court. Same thing happened to every American. When you got to go to court and you end up going to jail for something you did, you're going to be separated from your children.
I can see how they think that us believing that people should have the legal right to apply for asylum is so vast.
Nobody has a problem, and no element of our law prohibits people from seeking asylum. If you come through a port of entry, you can seek asylum. You can't get into our country and try to live here illegally, and then when you get caught, you seek asylum. People need to understand what seeking asylum is. That means that you're seeking safety in our country because of whatever persecution that you're facing in your own country. If you come over to America illegally and you're living here, you're having a good life, and then we bust you and you go, oh no, actually I'm fleeing, mother. That's not seeking asylum.
Different than their punitive policies to build a wall and shut our borders. It is radically different from their point of view, but we're not the ones that are advocating or defending the violation of human rights, and they are.
Violation of human rights. What violation of human rights? I already talked about the First Step Act. I guess they don't count. It only counts if it's illegals. You're standing up more for illegals. What about what President done for veterans? What about the lowest unemployment in history? What about the greatest economic boom in probably in the most recent years in American history? Oh, it don't count? Oh, it don't matter? Oh, okay. What about all these jobs being created? Oh, they don't count. What about renegotiating deals that make America better? Renegotiating deal between Canada and Mexico. Oh, that don't matter. Oh, there's already a wall there. There's already a barrier. Okay. All right. I'm done. I'm sick of these lunatics who are getting promoted, hired, and elected into these positions where they do not belong. I would not have a problem with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez if she had common sense. She's dumber than two left shoes. Dumber than a bag of rocks is what we used to say back in the day. Wake up, ladies and gentlemen. Do your research. Research what this girl is saying. She's a communist. She's ignorant. She has no solutions to anything she's proposing. And the people on the left are never going to push her or never going to badmouth her. Wake up, America. Wake up. Anyway, if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell so you can see all of my videos. Please, by all means, if you feel compelled, donate to the channel. YouTube is censoring people like nobody's business. One of my best videos just got demonetized. But anyway, I appreciate all of the support. If you share the video, it's just as good of a support as if you donate to the channel. Love you guys. God bless you. See you next time.